Hi, welcome back to Rabbit Reads. Today I'm going over my February wrap up. I read 2 physical books, listened to 2 audiobooks, and I did work on finishing a 3rd physical book, but unfortunately I did not get that done in February. I actually just finished reading it a couple days ago. Thank goodness. It took me 2.5 months to read. Way too long. Anyways, let's talk about the books that I actually did finish. First up, we've got The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. This is inspired by Spirited Away, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think I would have loved it as much if I didn't already love that movie. But regardless of that, this was very wholesome, very sweet, and I did actually really enjoy this book. It is classified as YA, but I would wager to say that it's on the lower end and would actually be really good for middle grade readers, just based off of my own opinions and the fact that I have a 10-year-old who I would absolutely recommend this book to, and I'm actually going to gift it to her because I think she would enjoy reading it. I loved it. It's a 4-star read for me. If you want to read more about it, I can post a little snippet here about what it's about. But essentially, villages are being ravaged by storms and wars, and the people in the community think that sacrificing a beautiful girl every year to the sea god will help appease him and hopefully make life better. And unfortunately, it never works. So year after year, they just keep doing it. And this year, one of the girls being sacrificed is the girlfriend of our main character's brother, and she just cannot live with herself if she lets this woman go. So she decides to volunteer herself and is thrust on this epic adventure of love. And it's not just romance love, there's familial love, and it actually left me crying at one point. So I did really enjoy this. Could have been better, but still a really fun read. The other physical book that I did end up finishing was Tremors in the Blood, Murder, Obsession, and the Birth of the Lie Detector. This was a book club read, and I really, really loved this. I did also rate this 4 stars. It would have been 5 stars, but there were just times where it just felt like it was too much information, and it just drug on and on and on, and it's like, okay, like, why are you telling us this? But eventually he did kind of bring it all together and tie everything up in a neat little bow, and I really appreciated that. It's so needed, and this could keep going for multiple books, but this is so jam-packed with information that it kind of felt like overload, and I binged a lot of this because the writing was so incredible, but I feel like I did myself a little disservice because of how much information it is. I feel like I should have just sat there and savored the information that I was reading, but I could not put this down. It was so fantastic. Now onto audiobooks. I listened to All of Us Villains, and I did end up DNFing this at the 70% mark. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about any of the villains. This is essentially the Hunger Games, but with magic, and that premise alone should have been incredible. But instead, this was really mediocre and boring, and I didn't want to waste any more of my time on this book, so I just ended up DNFing it. Oh well. The second audiobook that I read was Good Girl, Bad Blood, and this wasn't that much better. It was good, but I think I would still rate it like a 3-star just because I didn't care, again, about the case at hand. It follows Pippa and Ravi Singh as they're pulled into a trial and also a missing persons case. One of Pippa's friends, Connor, his brother has gone missing, and he recruits her to help find him. And Connor is very much a blip on the radar in the first book. This is book 2 to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And in the first book, Connor is just a background, one-dimensional mention. Like, he is hardly anything. He's just part of the friend group, but then, like, we never really experience him at all. So I didn't have any personal attachments to Connor or to Jamie, even though, like, the author tried to kind of get us there. I more so had an attachment to Pippa and Ravi and what this case meant for him. And just, Pippa's an incredible character in general, but the way that this book ended, I gotta take it back. I thought that this book was going in one direction, kind of following the same pattern as the first, but then it literally did a 180 and took me in a completely opposite direction, and it had me bawling my eyes out at the end. And that's where kind of it comes in for Pippa. Like, my heart broke for the characters, but also for Pippa, like, and now I'm listening to the third book in the series and she is completely different. Like, oh, I love her so much. I love these books. Even though I didn't completely love this one as much as the first one, it still didn't fall into that sequel trap that a lot of books do when it comes to trilogies. And even so far as this third one, typically it's like first book is really great, second book is kind of okay, and then the third book, it just is kind of whatever and it falls off. Not the case in my opinion whatsoever. Still a really good sequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And lastly, I tried so hard to finish Cloud Cuckoo Land. I just couldn't do it. I chipped away at it a tiny bit, but it is so slow and it's taken me forever. Literally over 2 months to read this book. I just finished it a couple days ago. I think today's like March 9th. I did not finish this. I did read it, but I did not finish it in February. Anyways, that's my February wrap up. Let me know in the comments what you read and maybe I can add some of those to my TBR, but I would love to hear from you and see what you thought, especially if you've read any of the books I just talked about. Let me know because I would love to discuss them with you. As always, I'm so happy that you are here, and if you want to see more of these videos, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.